In this video, we will be tasting and talking about 3 separate batches of Spring 2022 Taiwan Dong Ding Oolong tea. We finally picked up our classic Dong Ding Oolong tea yesterday from our ongoing source in Yonglong Village, Lugu Township, Nantou County, Taiwan. And we decided to brew it side by side with our traditional Dong Ding Oolong that we have been carrying for a couple of years now, as well as our recent batch of the Ecocha Tea Club, which is also a traditional Dong Ding Oolong. The 2 traditional styles are from the same source, same tea maker, 2 separate plots of tea. Our in-store selection is made from Tai Cha number 20, Yingxiang Oolong, a Taiwan hybrid oolong tea strain. And the Tea Club batch is from their family plot of the classic Qingxin Oolong that has been the prominent cultivar of tea that is used for high mountain oolong tea and other traditional style oolong teas. The basic difference between our classic Dong Ding Oolong and these 2 traditional style Dong Ding Oolongs is that classic, or what has become the Dong Ding Oolong that everyone knows and loves, is roasted, okay? Traditionally, before Dong Ding became a commercial commodity, so to speak, it wasn't roasted by the local tea makers. That's like prior to 50 years ago and prior. It slowly became a standard as a result of merchants roasting batches of tea that they had from previous seasons, and then a demand got created for it, and then the merchants would have the roasted version and the new fresh seasonal pick on hand for their customers to choose from. And then what kind of set it in stone was the local competitions. The Lugu Farmers Association Dong Ding Oolong Tea Competition sets a quality standard, and that has become the Dong Ding Oolong that the consumer base knows and has come to appreciate greatly. It's one of the most popular teas here in Taiwan. So that's the style of the Dong Ding that we've been carrying for since the beginning, and recently we decided to carry the unroasted version. And our closest tea farmer friend and teacher has a plot of Tai Cha number 20, which is about 8 years old now, I think. And then they have their family plot, which is close to 30 years old. So we thought it would be interesting just to taste these side by side. I put 6 grams of tea leaves in a 150 milliliter tea judging cup and brewed them with boiling temperature water for 2 minutes each. I have the first brew closest to me, and then the second brew in the second row. The canisters are still warm, not hot anymore, so I'm able to get a full nose. One of the best smells in the universe. It's true. What does it smell like? Everything. It's got like roasted yams, caramelization, a little bit of campfire smoke, not very much smokiness, a lot of sweetness, roasted veggies like parsnips, winter veggies, carrots, maybe butternut squash. Okay, that's the roasted version. Here we are at the Tai Cha number 20 that was picked at the beginning of April. So as you can imagine, it's similar but without the roast complexity and boldness. So we have a milder, humbler is what I often, the word humble occurs to me when appreciating this type of tea. It's very balanced. There's not a specific pronounced note. This has a floral note for sure. The name was given to this hybrid strain because it is very aromatic. So the name Yingxiang means welcoming aroma, or alluring aroma might be a better adjective. Very sweet, floral, some vegetal qualities in the aroma there. This is the Qingshan Oolong, picked a couple of weeks after, oh, I think it was only, yeah, maybe 10 days after the Taiwan number 20. Taiwan number 20 is ideal for mid-elevation, a little bit hotter. It can handle dry spells better than Qingshan. Qingshan is a little more fickle and it is less prolific. It doesn't produce as much leaf on the tree on a seasonal basis. But it has a character that farmers continue to find it worth cultivating this to get the quality of tea that they like to produce. Distinctly different, although within the same character. A little bit of savory, herbal, more of a herbal, deep green character in the aroma. Oh, I could sit here doing this all day. It's so intriguing. Like, what is it? There's something about the aroma of brewed tea leaves that is like nothing else. And it's really fulfilling. People that aren't familiar with this, it must look kind of weird. A little bit softer. I think I'm gonna take the leaves out after I taste the tea. Yeah, I did this for fun, basically. You can't really compare a roasted and an unroasted tea for their similarities. I just wanted to present all of our spring batches of Dong Ding Oolong and see what they're like, especially what the experience is of having them side by side like this. Let's go ahead and have a taste. I'm gonna start with this side because I think it's probably the most subtle. Amazing mouthfeel. Thick, silky. This character of tea, every time I drink it, I'm reminded of the fact that it's really hard to pinpoint any particular flavor notes. It's so balanced and so satisfying, but it's not like other teas that remind you of things instantly. Buttery vegetal. I can think of flowers in the nose after I swallow it and exhale through my nose. There is a sweet aromatic quality to the aftertaste. I think both the first and the second taste are almost exactly the same. It's just a wonderful balance of sweet and just enough astringency to make it pop. Oh, the second one is a little stronger. Okay. I'm really happy to be offering this type of tea in recent years, the last couple of years. It took a while for our friend to be able to work us into his supply and demand. His tea is in demand, and finally, after showing up at his house year after year in the factory and really just demonstrating our earnest desire to learn, we've stepped up on the ladder of his priority, I guess. Much more, is it floral? It's a more pronounced flavor profile in our in-store traditional Dong Ding Oolong tea. Much more obvious flavor and still very balanced. It also is kind of herbal, savory herbal, and floral. It's a little, I think the mouthfeel is extraordinary on the Qingshan Oolong, traditional Oolong. This one is a little bit thinner in the texture of the water, but it totally compensates for the bold flavor profile. I should say it totally compensates with its bold flavor profile. It's a full flavored tea. You can really get a sense of what the oxidation effect is. It's definitely a considerable distance away from the greener, lightly oxidized high mountain oolongs that we are all more familiar with. But it's still made basically the same way, just with extended treatment of each step in the oolong making process. So it has longer solar withering, longer indoor withering, more extensive shuffling and tumbling, basically is what it comes down to. Wonderful tea. This is the this month's batch of the EcoChat Tea Club, batch number 78, I believe. Do not inhale your tea. Very pronounced, very rich, bright, floral, but there is a density to the texture as well. Slightly more astringent than the Qingshan Oolong. Okay, let's go for our roasted version. I'm going to do a quick rinse here. This is the first time I'm brewing this at home. I just picked it up yesterday. It's the tea that I've been drinking the longest. I'm totally goosebumping out here. I'm a weirdo, what can I say? It just soaks right into the marrow of my bones. Skillfully roasted, sufficiently oxidized, very much sweetness. I always think of roasted yams when I have this type of tea, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't taste like a yam, it just has that caramelized, sweet, and slightly roasted character. The roast is definitely present. It's not overriding or overwhelming of the other flavor notes. It will definitely mellow with time. This is just recently cured, like last week. So they finished the roasting process. The son is the one who does the roasting. The father is more of the farm maintenance and definitely a definite influential factor in the processing of the leaves, especially the steps up until the cease oxidation or tumble heating. So basically, Dad really watches the oxidation process and supervises that. Dad has been an award winner for like 30 odd years now. He won first place prize, the Lugu Farmers Association Dong Ding Oolong Tea Competition, which is the largest oolong tea competition in the world. That competition has really given this tea its name, both on the domestic and international market. Delicious. Very happy to be drinking it right now. So there we have it. The traditional style of unroasted Dong Ding Oolong tea, together with our just procured Spring 2022 Dong Ding Oolong tea. These are from the same community, really. They separated into two place names, but it's one, there's no separation geographically at all. It's right on a ridge. It's a small community. This is from Fenghuang, a little bit further up the hill. Fenghuang means Phoenix Village. And this is from the neighboring Yonglong village. Yonglong can be translated as eternal peace. I didn't observe the dried leaves yet. Let's take a quick look. So roasted, obviously darker. They're all fairly similar in size and in their rolling technique. All of them have been rolled less tightly than High Mountain Oolong tea. They do that upon request. And it's less, there's less of the compactor used at the beginning of the rolling process, more of the the cloth wrapped ball rolling, the traditional way of making rolled oolong tea. So there's more stems protruding. That's particularly useful for roasting. You don't want the stem inside the leaf because the stem is the hardest part to roast. And if it's wrapped in leaf, you're not going to roast it at all. And then that creates a lack of uniformity in the roasting. So this is a nice, pretty, it's rolled fairly tightly, but the non-uniform shape is a plus in a making of a traditional style oolong tea. I'd say the biggest leaves are the batch of Qingxin Oolong Traditional Dong Ding. These Taiwan number 20 are darker, most uniform, indicating that they were picked at a younger stage, didn't get to reach full maturity. But the stem material is similar in size to its neighboring Qingxin Oolong. So again, it's not really, there's not really much use to compare unroasted and roasted. This is a darker color because it has been roasted. You can really just look at the shape of the leaves and the stem size. They all look like they were picked fairly at the ideal time with a little more maturity on the Qingxin Oolong here. We encourage you to check them all out. They're all worth checking. We'll have this on our ecochateas Tea Club Reserve list soon. Whatever remaining amounts, which is very small, each month, we wait a month or so to make sure all our members have gotten their tea safely and soundly, and then we offer the remaining packs, a handful of each on our reserve page. So if you're interested in trying the Qingxin Oolong, check that page in a few weeks from now. Currently we have Spring 2022 Traditional Dong Ding Oolong on the shelf, made from Taiwan number 20, Yingshan, and our just arrived classic Dong Ding Oolong tea. Go ahead and give them a try.